Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're hearing my voice from. This is the Biafran Golden Child, and once again, super glad, really super glad to interact with us today. Yes, today is 24th day of April 2025, and the month of April is really running pretty, very fast indeed. So, how are you guys doing? I hope you are good. I hope you're doing great. Hope your family is, going through, swimming through the tides of hardship, of cluelessness of government, and of, a government that is very insensitive to the plight of its citizens. A government who feels that the best thing you can give to your citizens is poverty, lack, hunger, starvation, and economic collapse. That seems to be the dividends of democracy. That seems to be the dividends of what Emilio Khan's government seems to have been offering Nigerians back to back now for the past 2 years. Unfortunately, what we hear everywhere is a preparation for 2027. I mean, this is a government that was, you know, quote unquote, elected February 2023, and they have not done anything with the months and the year plus they've been in power, and they're now aspiring for 2027. Ladies and gentlemen, is it not when a student does well in class that they're promoted to the next class? Is it not when you win all your you top in your grades, win all your subjects, pass all your subjects, and you are now eligible to be promoted? Why will you seek promotion while you have not passed? You have failed woefully, far below average, and you are talking about 2027. That is the lot of Nigeria, because that is what Nigeria has become. But of course, we don't belong to this zoo government. We don't care what they do with themselves. This is not our government. As far as we're concerned, we are of Biafran extraction. We believe in united, redeclared sovereign state of Biafra. So we have no government. We have no business listening to, Nigeria or Nigerian government. Let them continue to foster wickedness, poverty, hardship, economic, you know, downtrodden, for his people. Let it continue to, serve his people and those who voted for them, especially his kith and kin, the southwest and then the north and northeast who voted for him. Let him begin to serve them a measure of what they deserve when they could have, done the needful, voted somebody better, or anyhow, at least change, that route at that point in time. So, ladies and gentlemen, but that's not our interest this morning. Though, of course, our interest is still part of the zoo governance, and its people. Yes, every time they step on the toes of Biafra, every time they wish Biafra bad or anything about Biafra, when they make negative commentaries, we make sure, we nip it in the bud. We come and say it as it is. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this time they're infringing on matters concerning Biafra, and they redeclared Biafra, United States of Biafra. When they touch your or our own, when they touch our own, when the issues or their negativity concerns our Biafran leaders, it behoves on us to come out at once and in full glare of the public, we should debunk such anomalies instantly without fear or favor. Yes, when somebody make cast negative aspersions on your brother or on your family, you do not care about civility. You do not care about maintaining ethical standards. You look at them in the face and you tell them who they are. You give it to them the way it is. You read the riot acts to them so that they refrain from defaming any one of yours or in any way disparaging, the integrity and the good name of any one of your leaders. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to make bold to say that this morning's audio is going to be very interesting. Yes, it's going to be interesting because we find out that there's a deliberate, orchestrated misinformation going around. In fact, there's a major fake news going around. Yes, in which they are, categorically insisting beating their chest, thumping their chest, and claiming that the Finnish authorities, have confirmed that Simon Ekpa, our able prime minister, yes, yeah, will be extradited to Nigeria in July 2025. Yeah, to face charges related to terrorism and incitement of violence. Yes, this is what it's been the currency now all over the social media, all over the mass media, even in the televisions. This is the current news, and unfortunately, the zoo government and this, you know, uh, people, negative people, have been jubilating. They've been pumping champagnes. They've been clapping, shouting, "Yeah, yeah, yeah! Finally, finally, Judgment Day is here. Finally, we will get him. Finally, Simon Ekpa will be in our hands. We will deal with him decisively. Finally, here we are. Finnish authorities have finally agreed. We'll get him. Get him come uh, uh, July 2025. We'll get him in July, just a few months from now. May, June, July, 3 months from now, we're going to get Simon Ekpa and we'll deal with him. We'll give him all kinds of, blows. We'll deal with him in such a way, in a decisive manner. Next time, when he hears Nigeria, he would run away. We'll finish him. The Finnish authorities have decided to give him to Nigeria. Yes, finally, our diplomatic moves have succeeded. Finally, all the promises we made to Alexander Stubb and his, foreign ministers have worked out. We are going to jubilate. Come July, we will get him. Get rid of them. To be a case of bad riddance to bad rubbish. Ladies and gentlemen, in case what I'm saying doesn't make meanings to you, in case you have not heard this, I want it to be now fully in your cognition that the zoo government, yes, this government that claims it it has every power, superlative powers. It has powers beyond what could be termed ordinary, both diplomatic, both international and local. That it has what it takes to achieve whatever results it wants to achieve. This government has come out. I mean, there's been, a fallacy, a news, a fake news that can be sponsored by no other than the Nigerian government. I mean, the zoo government, claiming that in a landmark development, Finnish authorities have confirmed that Simon Ekpa, the controversial in their language Finnish Nigerian separatist leader, will be extradited to Nigeria in July 2025 to face charges related to terrorism and incitement of violence. Yeah, they said the decision follows months of diplomatic negotiations and legal proceedings between Nigeria and Finland, marking a significant step in addressing the unrest linked to EPA's activities in Nigeria's southeast. Yeah, they describe EPA as a self-proclaimed leader of a faction of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, and the prime minister of the Biafra Republic government in exile. And they said he was arrested in Lahti, Finland, in November 2024. So the Finnish police accused him of using social media platforms to incite violence against civilians and authorities in Nigeria's southeast, a region historically tied to the Biafran independence movement. Four others were also detained for allegedly financing these activities. The Nigerian government, which has long sought EPA's extradition, hailed the decision as a triumph for justice. Someone from the defense ministry stated, "We are grateful to the Finnish government for their cooperation. EPA's extradition will ensure he faces accountability for the chaos he has orchestrated in our country." Nigerian authorities have accused EPA of coordinating violent acts, including attacks on security operatives and enforcing disruptive sit-at-home orders in the southeast. The extradition process, according to them, faced significant hurdles, as Finland typically does not extradite its citizens outside the European Union or Nordic countries. However, a rare agreement was reached after Nigeria provided compelling evidence of Ekpa's alleged crimes, supported by international cooperation under the Rome Statute, to which both nations are signatories. Finnish officials emphasized that the decision was made in accordance with international law and respect for due process. Yes, the Päijät-Häme District Court in Lahti, Finland, finalized the extradition order on April 18, 2025, setting July 15th as the tentative date for Ekpa's transfer to Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the fake news going around. That is the highly publicized, fully spread misinformation concerning our astute, indefatigable Prime Minister Simon Ekpa Njoku. But brace up, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, brace up. Don't let this kind of misinformation, don't let this fabrication, don't let this clear fake information disturb you. It has no iota of truth in it. It cannot survive sunlight any day, anytime. Yes, because the Finnish authorities have assured, the international community, in case you're not aware, they've assured lawyers that our able Prime Minister, wisely and articulatedly, you know, uh, uh, employed for the upliftment, for the achievement, and for the declaration of the independent sovereign uh, United States of Biafra come well then 2nd December 2024. Yes, it was finally these same people, in amongst them international jurists, international attorneys, including Aman Dufri, Aman Dubre, who, spearheaded the Biafra fight, the Biafra orientation, the Biafra proliferation, and everything about Biafra during and when expectedly for that redeclaration 2nd December 2024 there. Even though our able Prime Minister was, yes, arrested, he was arrested and he has been on detention, you know, and there has been, vigorously and thoroughly investigated by the Finnish authorities. Of course, the same Finnish authorities, including the president, the current president, the president Alexander Stubb, has taken pains always and almost every time, persistently and consistently, to reinforce the Finnish authorities and Finland is a country that respects human rights and the rule of law. Of course, they know that you don't do things because people tell you to do it. You do things because you are convinced within yourself that that is the right thing to do. And they said, as far as they're concerned, everything the Nigerian government have been telling them has continued to be all fake, has continued to be all, manipulative evidences that are no way tallies with truth. In fact, they assured our international attorneys that they are doing everything, to expedite the trial. I mean, they are to finish their investigations, and of course, they have so far so good, not find anything that is indicting on Simon Ekpa Njoku. Ladies and gentlemen, in case you're not aware, the United Nations is interested in Mazen Namdekanu's case. The United Nations is interested in Simon Ekpa's case. In case you're not aware, the 47th President of the United States, yes, Mr. Donald Trump, is interested in matters surrounding the life, and the arrest, the manner in which our Mazen Namdekanu was arrested and extradited in very controversial circumstances in Kenya and rendition down to Nigeria. The United Nation, the 47th President of the United States, a lot of leaders, prominent leaders of the United European Union have come up to say, look, Britain, we expected you to have called Nigeria to order. In as much as you are the one who colonized this country called Nigeria, in as much as you have a special relationship with the northern oligarch in Nigeria, We expect you to read the handwriting on the wall. You should know that 2025 is not a time for kangaroo justice. You should know that 2025 is not a time, for witch hunting or engaging in voodoo. You went to Kenya, you extradited a man under controversial circumstances down to Nigeria. Do you know who can charge you, for kidnapping? Do you know the international court can charge Nigerian government for kidnapping and for engaging in an act of hatred because you don't like where the man is coming from, because he's from the southeast. Equally, the 47th president of the United States, Mr. Donald Trump, has said he has looked into cases, everything everybody has talked about Simon Ekpa. He has seen the man, studied his activities in Finland, he has read about him, he has taken pains to listen to all that Simon Ekpa has been saying. And what he sees is a man who is vigorously and peacefully protesting, the high-handedness of Nigerian government against his people. Ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump has sent messages severally to Bola Ahmed Tinubu's government to look, be very wary, be very careful how you treat Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Be very careful what you are saying about uh, Simon Ekpa. All you are saying have no proof in them. You are engaging in rumor mongering. You are vilifying somebody's character because you hate him. It is just a case like giving a dog a bad name because you want to kill it. He has warned BAT government severally. Beware, the international community is watching, and you have to be very careful. Nigeria's record of human rights abuses is ever increasing, consistently and persistently increasing in your government. And we are taking a look at it. We will not turn a blind eye anymore. The 47th president of the United States told Bola Ahmed Tinubu, listen, we are not like Joe Biden. We are not like the Democratic Party in America, including his the ex-while Barack Obama. We will not turn blind eyes to injustice. Injustice anywhere is equivalent to injustice, anywhere. Injustice anywhere is injustice. Synonymous is with injustice everywhere. Listen, BAT and your government, your administration has gotten a high record of human rights abuses. We have seen how you are clamming people into jail, especially people of Christian, beliefs, especially people of South East extraction. We have seen how you continue to do double speak when it comes to matters concerning Fulani jihadists, when it comes to herdsmen killing people, when it comes to militants, Boko Haram killing people. You quickly arrest the Boko Haram. When they are arrested, you grant them amnesty. You say you have rehabilitated them. You immediately, you admit them into the Nigerian army or security forces. But when it comes to people from the south, instantly, you make sure every paraphernalia of government is put in place to frustrate them. You make sure every paraphernalia of government is put in place to harm them. You make it seem that this is a country with two laws. One for the hapless Christians who have no Godfather, and one for the Fulani jihadists who seem to have all high placing authorities, high people in Nigerian government in the high places. They have told Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you better be very careful what you're doing to the United States of Biafra. We have told you severally that these people have said the country they are is not conducive for them. We have told you severally that according to the United Nations Charter on Human Rights, the people who have protested, for over 40 years. In fact, there was a civil war that is now over 40 years because 1966, 67, 68, 69, 70, when the Nigerian Civil War ended, is over 40 years. And these people are still saying we are being marginalized. They are still insisting that things are not well with them. They are still saying they're not comfortable with this amalgamated country that got amalgamation in 1914, that was eventually granted independence in 1960. If the Southeast people, if the Biafran people are telling you we're still not comfortable with what you have as a country, let them go. That is what the United Nations Charter on Human Rights and Aboriginal people insist. A people who have said we don't want to belong here, and in fact, a civil war was fought to that effect. If after 40 years, if after 35 years, they are still insisting that the conditions are not favorable for human development, the conditions are not favorable for effective assimilation into that country, that region, they should be allowed to walk away free. Ladies and gentlemen, maybe you didn't hear that. I said the 47th president of the United States had read the Riot Act to Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. That if the Biafra people insist that they want to go, if they insist that even after the Civil War, where the Biafra people insisted they wanted to go, this is 35 years, 40 years after, 45 years after, and they are still clamoring they want to go. Let them go. That's what the United Nations Charter on human life, human rights, the rights and freedom of minorities and aborigines, to have a free life, to have, their own regions. So, ladies and gentlemen, whoever told you that Finnish authorities are making any such promises to Nigerian government is a complete brouhaha. Is fake, totally lacking from the truth. Yeah, maybe their intention, the intention of the zoo government, yes, their intention is actually to demoralize Biafrans. Their intention is to, blackmail Biafrans. The intention could be to harass and intimidate Biafrans to soft pedal. No, we can't do that. We can never soft pedal. The redeclared United States of Biafra has already been declared. We have a government headed by a deputy prime minister, Dr. Ngozi Arabueze. I mean, we have, we have a Arabueze there, and we know she's doing everything possible, and she's accelerating the whole transition to, yes, an effectively independent, sovereign United States of Biafra. We're on it already. And so whatever the government is doing is merely trying to, they are trying to hoodwink Biafrans, trying to make us feel they have the Finnish authorities in their pocket. Of course, as a country that has been described as fantastically corrupt, a country that has been, described as a shithole, a country that has been accurately described as a zoo where nothing good can be expected. Of course, they know it will want to bribe. It believes in bribery and corruption. It believes in using what it has to get what it wants, even if it means selling all Nigerian crude oil to Finland, even if it means allowing Finnish authorities to come and tap our, natural resources that have not been licensed for tapping, even if it means promising Finnish authorities unfettered access to our gas, flaring gas all over Nigeria. That's nothing the government is incapable of doing. But of course, we are not ignorant of the devices of the enemy. Ladies and gentlemen, do not be deterred. Do not be by any way intimidated. Do not in any way be confused. Do not be flattered. Do not be intimidated. Nobody, no Finnish authorities bringing, extraditing our able, erudite, steadfast, indefatigable Prime Minister Simon Ekpa to Nigeria. If there will be any trial, it will be in Finland. And of course, at the end of the day, the fundamental human rights will be respected. The rule of law will take its course. And they will know that what he's engaging in is peaceful protest. He has not shot any bombs from Finland. He has not shot any gun from Finland. He has not sent any arrows from Finland. So whatever the Nigerian government is saying is complete fiasco. There's no such things. I make it bold to say that I, the Biafran Golden Child, I'm telling you with every manner of seriousness, that story is a fallacy. Alexander Stubb has no special or a special relationship with the BAT government. Not at all. Alexander Stop belongs to the European Union. It belongs to the Committee of Nations that respect the rule of law and order. It belongs to the government that respects charters, United Nations Charter on Human Rights. Yes, it knows that the Lord to whom much is given, much is expected. It knows that all eyes are on it, including the eyes of the whole world, including the eyes of United Nations, including the eyes of the 47th President of the United States, Mr. Donald Trump, including the eyes of the superpowers, including the eyes of the President of the European Union. All eyes are on Finland. All eyes are on Alexander Stubb. And if he decides to toe the line of infamy, if he decides to toe the line of disgrace, if he allows himself to be bribed and used to orchestrate such a heinous, such shameful, and very, very quote and unquote Nigerian agenda, then his days are numbered. Not only as a Finnish president, his days are numbered as a free man in Finland, because the international court will get him. Yes, they will get him. Yes, the long arms of the law will grab him no matter where he is. So, ladies and gentlemen, brace up, be focused, don't be derailed. What you're hearing is the same government magic, the same way the Nigerian government could continue to deceive, to befuddle its people. It has started. Today is Finland. It's bringing to use to deceive its people. But of course, we are not kids. Biafrans are not kids. We're all over the world. Biafrans in Finland are there. The redeclared United States of Biafra was declared in Finland by Dr. Ngozi Rabweze. We know how it is. It was in Finland, lucky Finland. So the Nigerian government could not stop it. The Finnish authorities, of course, could not stop it because they know it is within their fundamental human rights to declare what they want. So, ladies and gentlemen, I was highly aggravated when I saw this post, when I saw this thing getting traction in the social media. Yes, the Yoruba media are at it again. The Zoo government media is at it again. They want to terrify, they want to intimidate, they want to deceive Biafrans to deny their own. But of course, they're highly mistaken. They are highly mistaken. We will never betray Simon Ekpa, our able prime minister. We will never betray Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, our maximum leader. Of course, we have utmost allegiance and respect and loyalty to Dr. Ngozi Arabweze, the Deputy Prime Minister of, the redeclared United States of Biafra. Ladies and gentlemen, I know if you've not heard about this fake rumor going around, if you've not heard this fake news going around, if you've not heard all these things being spread around by haters of Biafra, haters of the Southeast, anti-Igbo people, people who have a pathological hatred for the Igbos and for Biafrans, then you have heard it now. You have heard it from the mouth of the Biafra golden child. And equally, I am still saying once again, loud and clear, I'm saying it with every level of seriousness. Yes, there is no such thing like the Finnish authorities agreeing, to extradite Simon Ekpa. There's no such thing as the Nigerian government reaching a high-powered decision and a solid arrangement to extradite Simon Ekpa come July 2025. We'll all be alive to that day. I pray we'll all be alive to witness that no such thing will happen in that month. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our government of Biafra in prayers. Let's put our leaders in prayers. It doesn't matter whether they're incarceration. We know on a certain due date they will come out. Soon, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu will come out free and fair. Yes, he will come out without any blemish. They will say it, that they will confirm it. His lawyer, his attorney, yes, Chief Kanu Agabe, 2 times Attorney General of this federation, has assured us he's doing everything, everything within his experience, within his power, within, legal requirements and requisitions to ensure that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu gains his freedom and is not in any way encumbered in Nigeria. Very soon. Equally, we have it on very strong authority by God's grace that our able Prime Minister Simon Ekpa is still being interrogated in Finland, but nobody, no Finnish authority will extradite him to Nigeria to face a zoo government. God bless you all. Thank you. And please spread this around. Let it go viral so that everybody will know that the redeclared United States of Biafra is still intact, is one force, one indefatigable, one indivisible, and one, sovereign, independent country that is on the verge of being fully recognized. It has been recognized, but this time it will take its right of place in the Committee of Nations. Very soon. Very soon. Yes. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a pleasure. Until I come your way again, yes, let us hold this as it is. Ladies and gentlemen, no Finnish authorities are extraditing our Prime Minister. Yes. The 47th President of America, the United Nations, and Committee of International European countries are well behind him. Thank you. God bless you. And goodbye. Thank you.
Yeah, Biafra. Yeah, Superstar Media. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the motherland. Tell me about Biafra. I wanna know. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the motherland. Tell me about Biafra. I wanna know. We going back to the land. We going back to the motherland. Biafra. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the land. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the motherland. Tell me about Biafra. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the land.